Thank you for joining me today. I am Carrie Carter, the Assistant Director of the Margaret H. Ortobadian University Writing Center at MTSU. Today I'm going to help walk you through how to create meaningful, reflective writing. Reflective writing will be important to you as a college student because it will help you build bridges from all of your courses to your future, your personal life, and even the world around you. The best way to complete a thorough reflection is to walk yourself through a step-by-step reflective path. First, you will start with an experience that relates to the topic you are reflecting on. Next, you will want to describe that experience and how it connects to your topic. Then, analyze the situation. What did you learn from it? What did it teach you? Why did you make those decisions? What were the consequences or outcomes? And finally, you will apply what you learned. You will spend time discussing how this information can be applied to things like your goals, coursework, life, discipline, even the world around you. Without the final steps, your reflection will fall flat on what a reflection should ultimately do, which is explain what you gain from an experience. There are several different ways you can collect ideas for a reflection. Make sure you look at your assignment sheet if you have one to see what may be the overall goals or objectives you need to meet in your writing. Next, utilize some of the brainstorming techniques from previous workshops. Some of the best writing ideas come from talking, so have conversations with friends, family members, teachers, and so on about your topic. Consider what stands out the most to you and why, but just remember, be honest. Readers can sense when you aren't genuine. Be vulnerable. You can show growth through admitting setbacks and how you conquered them. And provide proof. If you want your audience to believe you, do more than just tell them. Show them. When you are writing formal reflections for a class or an e-portfolio, you will want to consider audience. An audience is the individual or group you are trying to reach with your writing. And you can have multiple audiences for one piece of writing. Considering audience will help you think about what your readers need to know from you in order for your writing to be most effective. Pause the video here and take a moment to think about your audience for your current reflective piece of writing. Write it down on your Reflecting to Look Forward handout. Did you answer your professor, future employers, scholarship readers, and maybe even yourself as your audience? You may have listed other audiences as well. Either way, you will keep these audience members in mind as you craft your reflections. Audience may affect components of your writing, such as word choice, organization, or even overall content. Let's take a look at a reflection in process. Here is an excerpt where a student is reflecting on building relationships with teachers. Let's read it. Relationships that I have started to value are the ones with my teachers. I can't say I really like asking my teachers for help, but my teachers last year made it necessary to talk to them. They made an effort to get to know their students, and they also made it really clear that they would help us with our projects. It was also really important that they wanted our projects to be about things that we were interested in. So for my final project, I was able to choose things I like to learn about. In the future, I plan to try to work more closely with my teachers because I've learned that I do better work when I talk with them. After reading this excerpt, what stands out to you? What is good about it? What do you think could be improved? You can pause here to consider. So here are some things that stand out. So first, who are the teachers? Do all the teachers apply? Maybe the writer should choose a specific teacher to focus on as an example of a good student-teacher relationship. Is there proof that the writer doesn't ask for help? What's an example of a specific project that the writer has discussed with the teacher? Does the writer share what the interests are? Has the writer proved how this will help in the future versus just saying it will? Considering these questions will help the reflection become much more in-depth. Now we can look at a revision of this reflection to see if it has improved. Let's read it together. What I've recently learned about my education is that relationships with my teachers are critical. For example, I once had to step out of my comfort zone even though I find it difficult to ask for help. I have always felt like asking for help would make my teacher think I was not smart or independent. In fact, I failed my first history paper because I misunderstood the assignment and never reached out for clarification. Lesson learned. Mr. Hart in particular helped me realize that communicating with your teachers does not have to be scary. In reality, doing so can make you a better student and improve your work. For example, on our first assignment, Mr. Hart required us to investigate and write about our future careers. So I was thankful to explore something I already found interesting, nursing. However, once he explained we would have to conduct an interview with someone in our profession, I immediately panicked. Mr. Hart expressed he knew how scary this could be and told us we would meet one-on-one to review our questions and practice. On the day of our meeting, Mr. Hart smiled at me as he sat down. He reviewed my questions and helped me transition them from yes or no questions into ones that would get a more thorough response. Additionally, he gave me tips on how to transform my nervous energy. When we were done, I was confident and ready to tackle the assignment. This was not the last time Mr. Hart helped me, and in the end, my assignment taught me not only more about nursing, but also about how to communicate effectively. My experience with Mr. Hart proved to me that students must reach out for help when they need it, and that building relationships with your teachers can help you be more successful on assignments. Therefore, one of my first goals as a new college student is to visit my professors during their office hours. This will help me get to know my professor on a personal level, and for them to get to know me. The student would continue here writing about plans to move forward and considering this experience from the person's past. This is how we reflect to look forward. So here are a few tips to help you write a strong reflection. First, follow a reflective path, such as the one in this workshop, to ensure depth. Make sure you not only describe your experiences, but also analyze them and show how you can apply what you have learned. Don't forget to consider your audience. How will your audience change the way you write the reflection? Categorize events or ideas. We suggest using the UWC's Visual Project Organizer for help on our website. After writing, get some feedback. Check your reflection for clarity and depth, organization, stylistic choices, and errors. Remember, the Writing Center is available to help you at any stage of the writing process during the semester. Reflecting can teach you a lot about yourself and your learning experiences. We hope this workshop has helped you consider where to begin with reflective writing. Now you can take this time to work on your reflective writing assignment using the Reflecting to Look Forward handout.